Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Shishi Radharanath the other day, did they have Gundica Marjana? In Vrindavan the other day they had Gundica Marjana in the temple. And two devotees from Abu Dhabi. They're the age of some of you fellows. They're like 23, 22. Really good brothers. Their parents are really good devotees. They came to Vrindavan on that day, and we got together. But they brought their mother's side of the family because they needed to have it's been a long time since they've been with the mother's side of the family, and the mother is from UP, Uttar Pradesh. So they were in the temple, and the Gundica Marjana started. And so they just all started engaging in cleaning the temple. And the relatives started engaging in cleaning the temple. So the whole family, there were about 15 of them, they just stayed with all the devotees, and they were splashing water, and they were using brooms, and they were using cloth, and they were doing so many different things to clean the temple. And my devotee friends, Vasudeva Krishna and Murli Manohar, and their father, Swayam Spurti Krishnadas, they were all like very enlivened. And the family became very enlivened also, that they were just doing this seva. And they told me, I didn't go that day, but they told me that when they were cleaning the altar, they actually had removed the deity's clothes, and they had the deities wrapped in towels or something like that, because they were splashing water all over the altar. But they had a curtain in front of the deities, but you could just see the feet of the deities. And on that day you could have darshan of Radharani's feet also. And I know that they give darshan of Radharani's feet on another day, but on this day I didn't know did it. So they were very enlivened, cleaning the temple of the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed us this lila, that we should understand how we should clean the temple of our heart so that we can worship Radha and Krishna within our heart. And when Lord Chaitanya observed this pastime with all of his devotees, they had a special language that they used. And the language was Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And first they started with brooms, and they were sweeping the temple, and they were carrying out all the dust. And if somebody needed a broom, they would say, Hare Krishna. And the person would respond by saying, Hare Krishna. And if they needed something to collect the dust, Hare Krishna. And they would respond by saying, Hare Krishna. And then after all the sweeping was done, then they started bringing so many water pots, big matkas, big clay pots, and they were splashing water everywhere. And if they needed more water, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So the language was Hare Krishna. And the response was Hare Krishna. Anything that you want, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And that was the response. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during the Gundica Marjana, he actually collected more dust than any of the other devotees, because he was setting the example how the heart should really be nirmal, meaning the heart should be, there should be no mal, there should be no dirt, there should be no dust inside of the heart. If we wish to have pure Krishna consciousness, if we wish to actually be able to meet Krishna and serve Krishna personally, heart really, really has to be absolutely pure. There can't even be the scent or the aroma that there was at one time something bad in the heart. Like, sometimes if you're doing some renovation in your home, or you're doing some maintenance work at the temple, it's painting time. And so everybody gets out and they paint everything very, very nicely. And everything becomes very fresh and neat and spotlessly clean. But for 3 weeks, you still have the aroma of the paint in the temple. But even the aroma of our past bad activities should leave the heart. And we know from hearing from our acharyas that within the heart there's so many things which are undesirable. There's, the lustful feelings and the greedy feelings, and I know I certainly have anger. I don't know if anybody else here has anger. Yeah. He told me, ask Sukumari. Sukumari goes, so, lustful feelings, angry feelings, greedy feelings, envy that we have, envy for other living beings when we see that, in the material world, when we were all just situated in the material consciousness, when we'd see that somebody would get a bigger house than us, or somebody would get a better car than us, we would and sometimes we know that we're really not well in Krishna consciousness if we see that somebody it's evident that he's receiving a lot of mercy from Krishna, and we're sort of like about that also. So there's lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, and then within the heart, we've read from Srila Prabhupada that there are so many little tiny seeds of karma that are waiting to fructify from so many lifetimes. So karmic reactions within the heart, these material qualities within the heart, these anarthas that we have within the heart, that we think that doing bad things will make us happy, or we think that possessing more material things will make us happy. All of these things should go. And even the aroma that they were once there, that should go also. But how will it be done? It will only be done through this process of chanting Hare Krishna, dancing, chanting, taking Krishna Prasad, serving the feet of Vaishnavas, hearing Krishna Katha, either hearing Lord Krishna's direct instructions in Bhagavad Gita, or hearing the glories of Krishna that are told in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's like these 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. They're all meant to we hear all of these stories. We hear all of these stories, and what it's meant to do is it's meant to actually make us understand that material existence is really a dead-end street. That there's really nothing for us in this material world except a lot of headaches. And if you read the story of the Bhagavatam, if you read, through the 9 cantos of the Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami is speaking, and there's so many narrations of different stories going on about people who had everything and lost everything, and then they worked to get it back, and the kings, and the Sun Dynasty, and the Moon Dynasty. That's what's being described in the end of the 9th canto, because it's going to explain the appearance of Krishna. And this is what Parikshit Maharaj wants to hear. He wants to hear about Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
He
Krishna.
wants to hear about Krishna because he knows this is what's going to wash the heart. This is what's going to change the heart. Like last night I mentioned that just by this chanting together attentively, not inattentively, but attentively, chanting together attentively, and hearing together attentively, this is the thing that will wash the heart. And I mentioned last night, you can't do yagyas to wash your heart. You can't do tapasya to wash your heart. You can't give in charity to wash your heart. Certainly all these different activities are very pious and they elevate you. But if you want your heart to be washed, you have to be absorbed in Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And finally, after all that story was done, then finally, Shukadeva Goswami says, he says, and Sri Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva. And then Parikshit Maharaj goes, who here has read 2nd canto Srimad Bhagavatam? Who had a struggle in reading 2nd canto Srimad Bhagavatam? Because it's all about these, Virat Rupa and this and that, and the mountains being and this being the bones and the hair and all this different business. One time, one sadhu was speaking to me and he looked up and he said, when 2nd canto Srimad Bhagavatam was being spoken, Parikshit Maharaj was asleep. He wanted to hear directly about Krishna. And finally, like in the end of the 9th canto, he introduces Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. And he describes the beauty of Krishna, and the beautiful earrings that Krishna wears, and the beautiful complexion of Krishna, and Krishna's golden cloth. And he describes Krishna's very long, reddish eyes. They're like lotus flowers. And then it's like the water starts coming in Parikshit Maharaj's mouth. Now the feast is coming. Now breakfast is coming. But, so Lord Chaitanya, he showed us that. We shouldn't think that something else will do it for us. That's a very important thing for all of us. And still, us old folks, we all come back to that realization all the time, and that understanding all the time. And for the younger folks, it's very important that you put that inside right now and make sure that it's firmly implanted in your heart. That the only process for purifying your heart, the only process for actually washing all those different things from your heart, getting the aroma out of your heart that at one time there was something incorrect and there is. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
And that's how they spoke at Gundica Marjana. There wasn't any other language. It was just Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna.
And like this morning, like I really messed up Sarup's class. He's going to beat me later on.
Oh my goodness.
And we had to figure out sometime for Sarup to give class, because he was going to give a good class. But when the kirtan goes for a long time, and everybody's just paying attention to the holy name, and people are playing the cartels nicely and making the name the first thing, not the cartels the first thing. And the drum is playing, and the name is the first thing, not the drum is the first thing. And everybody's focusing on the holy name. Then wonderful things happen. And you actually start to receive Krishna's mercy. And maybe you think of something nice, like I had my eye, this morning we basically just sang the morning melody, correct?
Yeah.
That's the melody that we sing at Krishna Balaram Mandir every morning. And I was singing that melody and I was trying to keep it really slow. And then I was just, felt like I was standing in Vrindavan in front of Radhe Shyam and just singing for Radhe Shyam. And then I turned to Das and I said, close your eyes, it's Mangalarti, look at Radha Madhava. Because he's a Mayaprabhu. And I said, just close your eyes. Did you see that? See, that's the grace of the holy name. You know, or close your eyes and see Radha Radhanath. Or the holy name can do that. And it takes work. But our acharyas have told us that if we consistently remain engaged in nicely chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that even though in the beginning it's a little effort for us to get the mind under control and try to keep the senses controlled, but in time Krishna is just going to so fully reciprocate with you because of your spontaneous attraction for him, that Krishna is just going to show us everything. He will. Just like in a flash, Krishna can do that because Krishna is fully independent. Krishna Krishna knows everything. He knows everything what's going on inside of all of our hearts. And despite the things which may be going on inside of our hearts, if he sees that we're making such a concentrated effort while we're engaging in Krishna consciousness, and especially when we come together and we have these good concentrated doses, like a weekend of being together, and focusing in Krishna consciousness, he's independent. And despite whatever else may be going on, he can reciprocate with you just in a flash if he chooses. So that's the glory of this chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's the glory of this Krishna consciousness movement that Srila Prabhupada has given us. That, we're not the best people, but he's given us the best. He's given us the divine grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that prayer that I chanted last night, Namashvishtam Manamap Sachiputram. It begins that by the grace of Sri Guru, we get the greatest gift, the Shreshta, which is the name, Nama Shreshtam. The greatest gift that we have in our life is this name of Krishna. And that has been given to us by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and your spiritual masters. He's given us this gift. And then he concludes that prayer by saying, He's given us another gift. And it's something very phenomenal. And what that gift is within our heart, He's planted a desire. And He's planted a hope. And what that hope and what that desire is that one day we will all become the servants of Sri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. Who can imagine? I mean, like so many of you all have been born in devotee families. I wasn't born in a devotee family. I was born in a very low-class family. And I was trained in so many low-class ways. And I did so many low-class things. But nonetheless, by the grace of Sri Guru and by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this desire has become planted in all of our hearts. So therefore, when we're here together this weekend, as I mentioned last night, take the opportunity to turn back to Krishna. Too long we have been Bahirmukh. Mukh is face, Bahir is outside. We turned our face outside from Krishna. But now it's time to turn our face back to Krishna. And in the association of so many wonderful Vaishnavas, it becomes as easy as anything. But we just need to focus while we're here, and we have to do it. And now it's 9 o'clock, and now I'm going to shut up, because I am supposed to give a class in 1 hour, and you're supposed to take prasadam, and I'm supposed to chant 16 rounds and do my puja, and my puja takes me almost 2 hours, and so I will be quiet now. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. And rest of weekend, let's all be together, very, concentrated, chanting Hare Krishna and hearing talks of Krishna, and I know it's a fun retreat also because you want to do a lot of team building, and like last night we went back to our room and I was sitting with devotees and we were taking some very nice prasadam that a Mungi had made and we had offered to my deities, and then until about 12:30 I guess they were celebrating Hridai Chaitanya's birthday downstairs. I heard a real hoot going on downstairs. like a real party was going on. But so I know we're going to have fun together also, and we're going to have team building together. But let's remember,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Okay, Mahaprasad ki
Jai,
Mahaprasad ki
Jai.
Mahaprasad ki